images of Lucy that I took earlier on. So I've saved a copy to my external hard drive. Now this is on the desktop. So I've got my best of the best. That's mine for personal, drone and video, and then year commercial. So I open up this one. I've got my years worked out there. And then I've got my different segments inside that. In this case, it's headshots. So then, these are all made up by the way, but all the same. So then Lucy. So from Lucy, I've got raw, best and final. There's nothing in these two yet. So we go into raw and there's all of my images. So then I'm going to open them up, Command A, I'm going to open them up in raw and up they come. So up come the images. So with that, I go straight to my grey card. That's the image that I'm interested in. I get my eyedropper from here and I bring it over. You'll see the RGB numbers appear here. So as my eyedropper comes into the center here, you can see that it's 215 for R, G and B. So that's fine. I'll just bring it up that tiny little bit more to 220 all the way around. That's good. This particular grey card uses 220, I find, and it prints up just like you see it. That's what's really important. So some grey cards, they're 150 for their RGB. So it depends. You have to experiment to find out what your card is. So here we go. So I'm happy with the luminosity. So I'll just have a look at this one. Right, so if I want my luminosity to change, I'm going to make a couple of settings here. So I've just pushed my luminosity there. I've lowered my highlights slightly. My texture I've brought down. Some people want it really, really sharp. I actually don't. I bring it down just slightly. I dehaze, you can if you like, but sometimes it takes the white background away. We have a look if we need dehaze later. Scrolling down here, optics is another one that you may need to look at, and the optics is use profile corrections. So if your lens is, let's say, a 35mm and it's going to give barrel distortion of some description, that'll correct it automatically. And also if there's fringing going on, it'll get rid of chromatic aberration. On the geometry, if I hit automatic, it will straighten up all the lines. And so it can be handy, particularly in architecture where it's slightly out, and that'll correct it. In this case, it doesn't matter. So I'm happy with the settings there. Looking here at sharpening as well, this is sharpening out of the box for this particular camera. The lens was an 85mm, really sharp. I don't need to sharpen these up anymore. They're as sharp as. So for what I need, I'm happy with that. So in this image, even though it wasn't even a face, but it's more importantly, it's my grey card, I need this accurate. So then I'm going to select all. It'll then select all of the images. I'm going to hit the three dots again. It's going to say copy selected or copy edit. No, I want copy selected. It's going to open that up and says, what do you want to copy? And I'm happy with this. I haven't changed the crop. Looking at all this, I know I'm happy with that. So I go copy. Copy all that. So now it's copied, and then I can paste, edit, settings. So I do that, and now it's going to do it to the batch. And you can see them brightening up. So I know if I printed them, that's what they'd look like. And that's what I want. And that's what you want as well. You must use a grey card and use it well. So in this particular image, I've got my light meter there as well alongside my grey card. And so what I've done there is I've set my shutter speed and I've set my ISO that I want to work with, and then it's given me an f-stop. In this case it was f4, so I was happy with f4. I didn't need too much. I wanted the background a little bit blurry so I don't see the pattern in the cloth, but I needed to see Lucy's eyes back to her ears, and f4 I know will do that for me. So okay, we have a look. So if I bring one up, you can see that it is sharp. There's nothing there that really needs doing, and I'm happy with that, and it's found the eyes quite nicely. All right, so what we're going to do here is I'm just going to go through just quite quickly sideways, and I'm happy with these in general. If the light suddenly goes too bright, it be a flash recharging issue more than anything else. Usually they'd go a little bit dark. But at least I know I'm close. This is a battery powered flash and it's not as powerful as the studio monoblock. But the reason why I'm doing that is because from a beginner level, you can see that that's dark. So if I just brought that up a little bit, it's actually a really nice image as well. And I am going to dehaze on that one. You can even go to this circle over here and just dehaze just where the circle is. Just that little bit more. That's fine. I'm going to come into a crop on that. And I'm going to give it a crop of, let's say, an 8 by 10. I'm going to leave it as a wide shot on purpose. I'll show you why. Because I'll get this circle again. If I make a circle and bring it here inside the shot, if you're going to have, let's say, a LinkedIn profile image, it's going to be a circle. And if it's going to be a circle, you just don't want to appear as a head in your LinkedIn profile. So you don't want that for your clients either. So you've got to give them a bit of scope to move it around. So in this case, I shoot with the shoulders in as best I can, being aware of making that circle. That's a nice shot actually. So what I'm going to do there is with that shot, I'm going to give it a star so it'll stand out. So then when I'm looking at my images of which ones are going to go into the best, that at least will have a star there. So I'll do this later. I'll go through them all. We'll just whiz down this way first. Okay, so here are the blacks. So we just have a look and it's a different light source. There's a nice shot straight away. Boom, I'll get that one. I'm happy with that. I'm just going to turn the luminosity down just that little bit more. I can see hair, flyaway hair. I'll be able to tame that a little bit later. And let's say I made that into an 8 by 10 as well. Then we can just come up and bring it up tight. Lovely and sharp. That's great. Really good eye contact. And that's what it's all about. It's like, hi, how are you? I'm Lucy. How can I help? So, all right. So then we've turned around and gone into the grey side of the studio. So now I need to get my eyedropper again. I get my eyedropper here, slightly warm. I'm going to turn that down just a smidgen to here. It's about 215, a little baby bit more. Okay, it's near enough. So I'm going to have a look at that. I'd have to open up the greys as a separate thing and treat them separately. They're all going to be that slightly bit too bright. So another thing you can do is you can open up and then if you invert this, it'll change the outside and you can just darken off the outside, leaving Lucy there. And then you can find a comfortable position. You'll still batch these as well, so they're all going to look the same. But you can darken it right off or bring it up. So you find that nice, comfortable grey that complements the person that you're taking a photo of. So I'll leave that. I'll give that a little star as well, just to point that out to me as I see it quickly. It's not the shot that I'm after, whereas this one's more appealing straight away. It's a more happy, easy-go-lucky shot, but it might be a little bit too close. This is further away. Give me a smile there. Lovely. Okay, good. So I'm going to bring that up. Yep, I'm happy with that. I'll do that circle thing again just one more time. I'm just going to bring that up. And it's inverted. I'm going to bring that back. Straight away, nice shot. Give it a star. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. So I'm going to say done on that. Click on that to empty them out. And so there are all my images. What I'm going to do is I would then pick out my best images and put them into my best folder. And then once they're in my best folder, then I can start working on them. And then once they've been worked on, well then I can then put them into my finals folder once they've been worked on, and then send them to the client. We'll get into that next.